when you look at Kansas City this year going into it, you either hear from one side of the national media that the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs and they're not going to do anything extraordinary. And then you hear from the other side that the Chiefs are going to, go back to another Super Bowl or at least get to the AFC title game again. Outside looking in, what side do you hang on?
I'm on the other side. I love the Chiefs. They've been one of the elite teams in this league for the last number of years. I love their coach. Obviously, I love their quarterback. They got dynamic playmakers still on offense, and their defense to me is awfully challenging, and they seem to get better and better as the year goes on. So I'm a big fan. I spent a day with them out during their OTAs.
Okay.
And couldn't have been more impressed with the whole operation. It's been one of the fun things for me is to get a chance to go visit some other teams and sit in on meetings and watch practice and all of that. And Coach Reid does an incredible job. His staff does an incredible job. And I think they're just one of the best teams in the league, and they'll be there right at the end this year again.
Well, you're gonna go over just perfect here in Kansas City. But again, you've seen this. You've been on the coaching side. You've been around. Why is Coach Reid's way of running things so successful, but also unique in its own little way?
To me, it starts with who the guy is. He's a special person, and I've known him for a long time. I played on teams that he coached on for years, and then obviously the time in Philadelphia when I was a player. We went against his teams, then as an assistant coach, then as a head coach, and then in Kansas City as well. And he's been a great friend of mine for a long time and a great mentor to me. And I can tell you countless stories about his selfless nature to help another coach on another team. And he's just a special guy, and he's so great for the NFL. And it's not by accident that he's had success everywhere he's gone, and for extended periods of time with different players, different coaches, in any environment. And he's a rare guy first, and obviously his expertise as a football coach is among the best ever. And he has such a consistent way about him. He creates a phenomenal atmosphere for his team where the standards are high. Everybody wants to play for him. They want to play together, and that shows up in how they play on Sunday afternoon. So I have such admiration for him as a person, as a coach, and it's not by accident they've had so much success, and that's why they're going to be there again this year.
All right, we'll write it in our diaries tonight. Have it time stamped, delivered, and dated. So, it also helps that you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, right? That's a quarterback that's a rare talent. It's a generational talent. When you get to see Patrick Mahomes in practice, I know you've been, like you said, you've been there a couple times. What stands out about the way he conducts himself?
Well, if you talk about him in practice, and that's the first time I've seen him in that environment this spring, and I couldn't have been more impressed. I talk about a ball guy. He loves football, and he cares so much about it, every detail, no stone unturned with him, the tempo that he sets for their team. They did a lot of team work at the practice that I was at, and he was in control of the whole operation. And you can tell that he and Andy and their coaching staff, they're on the same page. They have such a good feel for what they're doing offensively, and he's the maestro. He conducts the whole thing. He can play so well within the system, and then obviously, as we've seen, when things break down, he can make plays like no quarterback who's ever played the game. So I've been so impressed by him from afar for so long. And maybe a little bit like Andy, starting with the person, the kind of guy he is, the way he interacts with his teammates, the leadership that he displays, the toughness, the competitive spirit, all that stuff, just leaps off the tape when you watch him. And then the ability, his ability is rare. His vision to see the field and make plays from funny body positions. Nobody's been able to do that in this league, and he does it on a consistent basis. So he's so much fun to watch, and I'm a big admirer of his.
So he's talented, obviously, but you've worked with talented people before. Why does his talent continue to get better and better and better? It just seems like every year you feel like he's going to hit a cap, but then we see more out of him. Explain the science behind that.
Well, again, I'm not an expert because I'm watching this from afar, but again, it was so much fun for me to get that glimpse inside and talk to him and be around him a little bit. And he's just a driven guy. There's no question about that. He wants to be great. He wants to be the best. From my standpoint, it seems like he's willing to do whatever it takes to do that. And it's not about, hey, just for the team, just for himself. It's for the team and what he wants their team to achieve. And that's why they've been there. When you get a guy like that, a generational talent, like you said, but also the guy who approaches it the right way and wants what's best for the team, that's when you have the kind of success they've had in Kansas City.
Well, hopefully it's continued success this season. I mean, they're going up against very stacked AFC West. The young talent and the quarterbacks, let alone in the AFC West, are going to be challenging. If you look at that, what do you see panning out this season?
Well, you're right. I think it's hard to argue against them, that being the best division in football. Right. And it starts with those quarterbacks. Russell Wilson coming over to Denver. You know, they've been building something there. George Payton, their general manager, done a fantastic job. And then you add Russell Wilson to the mix, 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a special player. So he's certainly going to make them different than they've been. The guy with the Chargers, Justin Herbert, I have such admiration for that guy. I mean, to me, I don't know that I've seen a quarterback so young make the game look so easy. Right. You never see him in trouble. Time and time again, it seems like he makes great decisions. He consistently throws the ball on time within their system. And then when things break down, he makes a ton of plays that way. And he just seems like a wonderful young man, too, and a great leader for their team. And then Derek Carr with the Raiders. You know, the thing that people forget is the Raiders won 10 games last year. They went to the playoffs. They had a close loss to Cincinnati, who went to the Super Bowl. Rich Bisaccia did an amazing job for them last year, leading that franchise. And now Josh McDaniels gets his chance. So I think it's the best division in football. It starts with those quarterbacks, but I still believe that Kansas City is the best of the group.
All right. No, I know I keep jumping all over the place, but now let's talk about the NFC. Biggest threat you see coming out of the NFC this season?
You know, it's interesting to me that the young guns are in the AFC.
Right.
You talk about Mahomes and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. You know, those guys, these great young quarterbacks are going to be there for a long time. They're going to be fantastic players for decades, it seems like. But on the other side, it's the older guys. Matthew Stafford's been around for a long time. He wins his first championship. So now he gets a chance to defend it. Hard to bet against the Rams. And then obviously the guy in Green Bay is as good as anybody who's ever played. You know, he gives them a tremendous chance to be right there again. And the guy down in Tampa is awfully good too. So when you think about Brady and Rodgers and Stafford, that's a great place to start. Those guys are elite players who make their whole team and their organizations better. So to me, those are the teams to beat in the NFC. Okay.
And last question I'll give you is, give me your hot take for this upcoming season. What's the one thing that no one's thinking that you're like, this I could live or die by this statement, but this is the hill that I'm going to stand on?
Well, to me, it's what we just were talking about. The most intriguing story to me is the young guns in the AFC versus the veteran quarterbacks in the NFC.
Right.
And you know, these veteran guys kind of making their last stand. You know, Tom Brady's 45 years old.
We hope he's making his last stand.
Yeah, so they've been so good for so long, and these rare players. I can remember hearing a story that a guy who covered the Chicago Bulls during the Michael Jordan years, one of the veteran reporters told a younger reporter, said, "Hey, keep your notes because you're watching Babe Ruth right here." And to me, that always struck me, because Michael Jordan's as rare as they come, but I feel like we're in that kind of a time as well. Tom Brady will go down as the greatest player ever to play, and Aaron Rodgers is right there. So these elite, amazing players are playing, and it's just so much fun to be a part of the NFL at this time.
This is a fun season. I can't wait to see how everything kind of shakes out and pans out in the next couple of weeks. But hey, appreciate your time. Seriously, I know you're a busy guy. I got to ask you personally, how are you enjoying the new, because you're in a new role this season, correct? A little bit different than last year?
Yeah, you know, I've been coaching for a long time. I've been coaching, playing football and coaching football for the last 31 years. So
how's the dark side?
It's certainly a new role. You know, people use that expression all the time, and you know, I've been working for NBC, and there's nothing dark about it. They're incredible there, and you know, we've always thought that the Sunday Night Football show was the best in sports, and have a chance to be a part of that with the amazing people who put it on. It just really, it's an incredible experience for me. So I'm diving in. I've really enjoyed it.